Hi, hello there. Assalamu alaikum. This is Amnah here from My English Matters, and I am one of the creators of My English Matters together with two of my sisters, Madam Azima and Aisha. And every week we go live on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. And today I'm live to talk about 25 phrasal verbs that you can use at work. So if you are watching me, say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. Have you had your breakfast? Are you working from home or are you at the office already? Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about 25 phrasal verbs. And what are phrasal verbs actually? So I'm going to start here by showing you my slides. So what are phrasal verbs? A phrasal verb is a combination of words, which is a verb or a plus a preposition, or verb plus an adverb. That when it's used together, it usually takes on a different meaning to that of the original verb. So this may sound confusing to you right now because there are a lot of words in this particular sentence, but I want you to know that phrasal verbs are something that you may already be using in your sentences when you speak in English. I know that I use a lot of phrasal verbs, and it's something that I don't even realize that I'm using. And the more that you advance in your levels of English, the more phrasal verbs that you will know. Naturally, you will pick it up as you use the language more, as you listen to more to English content, and you listen more and you read more. So what it says here, when we use phrasal verbs, we use them like normal verbs in a sentence. Okay, I can see many of you joining me now. Hi, Nurul Shazlin. Hello, Sheila. Walaikum salam, Hawa. Okay, you're watching from work. Hi, Aisha. Walaikum salam. Samila, Nur Nabila. Okay, thanks for saying hi to me. Make sure that you share this Facebook Live with all your friends, okay? And make sure you like it too, or give me a heart. Okay, hello, Syukur, selalu. Waalaikumsalam. All right, so we're talking today. Today we are talking about phrasal verbs, and I'm going to give you 25 phrasal verbs with the meaning and the examples, okay? So what I want you to do before we start is grab a pen and a notebook, write down these phrasal verbs. You don't have to take them all down, but just choose the ones that you like or the ones that you feel are relevant to your situation at work or in your life. Choose those ones so that you can remember them, and then you can apply them at work straight away. All right. Just remember that you don't have to memorize all of these phrasal verbs, but it's good to know the meaning so that when you listen, you listen to your colleagues speak and they use phrasal verbs, you get what they're saying so that you understand what they're saying. So I've chosen 25 phrasal verbs. I chose one phrasal verb for every letter of the alphabet. So that's why there's 25, except for the letter X, because I can't seem to find a phrasal verb that begins with X, so that's why that's 25 and not 26. But if you do find a phrasal verb that begins with X, then let me know. But I don't think so. You can prove me wrong. Hi, walaikum salam, Nur Hasmariza. Hello, walaikum salam, hi Riaz. All right, let's get started, shall we? All right, so here are 25 phrasal verbs that you can use at work. So I've chosen ones that may be common, that you can use at work. Some of these phrasal verbs you may already know, right? Some of them you may not know, so it's new to you, so that's good. Some of them you may already know, so you would think, oh, okay, so that's a phrasal verb. I've always been using that phrasal verb. So you can understand how phrasal verbs work in a sentence. Right, let's start with the first one. Number one, abide by. Do you know what this means? It means to follow a rule, decision, or instruction. So here's an example of a sentence. They promised to abide by the rules of the contest. So basically, it just means to follow. So you could say they promised to follow the rules of the contest, But if you want to sound a bit more fancy, you can say they promise to abide by the rules of the contest. Or if somebody uses abide by in their sentences, now you know what it means. It means to follow a rule. Number 2, back out. This seems kind of common. It's a fairly common phrase I chose here. To decide not to do something you agreed to do. Oh no, sorry. Okay, I accidentally clicked on a link. All right, let's see. An example here. I promised to help and I'm not backing out now. You can also use the phrasal verb back out of. So we're hoping that no one will back out of the deal, right? Do you use this? Do you use back out in your sentences? Because I know that this is quite a common one. Do you use this sentence? Let me make the slide bigger. Hold on. All right. Somehow it became... All right, that's better, right? Number 3, carry over. To continue past a certain point. Carry over. The meeting carried over into the afternoon because there was so much to talk about. Now, take note that some of these phrasal verbs, they may have more than one meaning, but I just chose one of the meanings for some of these phrasal verbs so that you can, I don't want to overwhelm you with too much, but I just want you to, try to focus on one meaning at a time. All right, that's the meaning of carry over and the example. Let's go to the 4th one. The 4th one, decide on. It's quite a simple phrasal verb, right? To choose someone or something from a number of possible choices. So it's not just deciding on one thing, it's deciding on one thing out of a number of possible choices. For example, Thomas spent a long time looking at apartments around the area, but eventually decided on one near his work. Number 5, embark on or embark upon. To start a new project or activity, usually one that will be difficult and will take time. So here's the example. After leaving college, Lucy embarked on an acting career. Okay, wait, let me see this question. Noor Amira asked, how do we know when it becomes back out or backing out because of the tense? Yes, it's the tense, whether you are using present tense, back out, or you are using backing out, which is a continuous tense. So it depends on the tense. Number 6, face up to. Do you have any idea what this means? Try to, think for yourself what it means before I show you the meaning so that you can, test yourself at home, whether you know these phrasal verbs already. To accept an unpleasant truth. Many people find it hard to face up to the fact that they are getting old, right? It's a hard truth, but it's true. You have to face up to the fact that we're all getting old. Gear up. So what does gear up mean? Let's see. To prepare yourself or to prepare something for an activity or event. Gear up. The shops are gearing up for the New Year sales, right? So we're at the end of the year and all the shops are gearing up for these New Year sales. A lot of them are online, okay? It's usually associated with gearing up for something when you put on gear to go out, to say you need to go skiing or you are going fishing, right? You would gear up. You would get all your gear. You would either wear it or you would take it with you. That's how the analogy came up with gearing up. for the New Year sales example. Number 8, harp on. Okay, so maybe you are familiar with this. I'm familiar with it. To keep talking or complaining about something in a way that makes people bored or annoyed, right? Here's the example. I was late twice last week and my boss keeps harping on about it. Do you have a boss who likes to harp on something? I did. I had a boss who liked to harp on all my mistakes. I don't have a boss anymore. I'm my own boss now, but yeah. Right, number 9, iron out. So iron out sounds like, you're ironing your clothes, but this phrasal verb is used to deal successfully with a disagreement or problem, especially by removing the last remaining difficulties. Right? Have you heard this phrasal verb at work, or do you actually use it? I'm sure you do. If you work in a English speaking environment, you would. This is kind of a common phrasal verb that people use. They're meeting in KL to iron out the final details of the contract. Number 10, jazz up. To make something more lively, exciting, or interesting. Example, the show was getting stale, so they jazzed it up with some new scenes. Right, to make it more interesting, more lively. Number 11, knuckle down. What does that mean? To start working hard, especially when you should have done so earlier. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're writing it down somewhere. If you don't, then you can watch the replay afterwards. It's time you knuckle down to some work. So it's relating to something that you should have done earlier. So now you knuckle down. Like me this morning, I was knuckling down doing these slides for this Facebook Live. I thrive under pressure. Right, number 12, level with. Level with someone is to be honest with someone. I leveled with him about what happened that night. Okay, level with. Number 13, make do with. This is a phrasal verb. Here's what it means. To succeed in dealing with a situation by using what is available or despite not having something. So you make do with. So here's an example. There's no coffee, so we'll have to make do with tea. Okay, make do with. Number 14, narrow down. To reduce the number of possibilities or choices. Narrow down. So narrow means something in Malay is sempit, right? So you're reducing the number of possibilities or choices. We're working to narrow down the list of possible suspects. Okay. Number 15, occur to. Sorry, I just got a message. Occur to someone. If a thought or idea occurs to you, you suddenly and unexpectedly start to think about it. So the word occur usually it means happen, right? But when you say occur to, this is what it means. If a thought or idea, you suddenly think about it, right? Let's look at an example. The thought of giving up never occurred to me, right? Or here's another example. Didn't it occur to you to help me when you saw how much trouble I was in? So in Malay, if you are from Malaysia, it means terfikir. Terfikir. Saya tak pernah terfikir untuk putus asa. Okay. 16, pair up. To form a pair or to make two people form a pair. Example, two students from each class pair up to produce a short play. So you pair up with someone, right? So when two people come together to make a pair. So that's what pair up means. Number 17. Quit on. To stop working, associating, or being friends with someone, especially when they need support. Example, they quit on me just when things got rough. Or you could also use quit on to mean to stop working or functioning. My phone has quit on me. Can I borrow yours? Number 18, ramble on. So if you are one of our Communicate with Confidence online students, you will know that we talk about rambling and we talk about mumbling, and we also give you tips on how to avoid rambling. So this is a phrasal verb, ramble on. To talk or write about something for a long time in a way that is boring, annoying, or confusing. So to ramble on. Quit rambling on. I'm tired of listening to you, right? Number 19, scale back. Scale back. To make something smaller than originally planned. They had to scale back the project because of the costs. Okay, so scaling back means that you are making something smaller than was planned. Number 20, trade off. Trade off. This is quite a common one. To accept something you don't really want to get something you do want. So it's like making a compromise. You know, you want something, but you have to give up something so that you can get what you want. Give up something else. For example, we had to trade off space for the location when buying the apartment. So what this essentially means is these people, they chose a location, but the location meant that they had to get an apartment that was smaller in space, right? That's what it means by trading off space for the location. Number 21. Okay, we are in the home stretch. Usher in. We're usher in. To make an activity or process begin. The talks ushered in a new era of international cooperation. Okay. Number 22, venture forth. To leave somewhere safe or comfortable. If the storm has finished, we could venture forth. So it's going somewhere where it's after it's safe or comfortable. Number 23, weigh in on. Weigh in on. Right? It doesn't mean to weigh something. It doesn't mean to timbang something. But this is what it means. To enter an argument or discussion to express a strongly felt idea. Example, she weighed in on their immigration policies. Okay. Number 24, yield to. to surrender. I tried hard to resist, but in the end, I yielded to temptation and ate it all. This sounds familiar to me because I tend to eat all the ice cream. I tend to eat all the cookies in the fridge, even though I don't want to. Right. Number 25, zero in on. Zero in on. What do you think that means? Do you have any idea? Zero in on someone or something. To start to give all your attention to a particular person or thing. The newspapers have zeroed in on his private life. So it's like focusing the attention on one particular thing or person. All right, so that was the last one, 25. What do you think? Did you know any of these phrasal verbs already? If not, what I want you to do now is number 1, choose 3 to 5 phrasal verbs that you would like to use at work. So either it's at work or in your personal life. Just choose 3 to 5 of the ones that I've mentioned. You don't have to use the ones that I've mentioned. You can also Google phrasal verbs. But I chose the ones that were more common in the daily life of a Malaysian or as a second language learner. Choose the ones that are new to you, right? 3 to 5. And what I want you to do is search for 3 example sentences for each of the phrasal verbs so that you can see how they're used in context. So you may know the meaning of a phrasal verb, but you also need to know how to use it correctly. So that's why it's important for you to see and read more than one example for that phrasal verb. Okay, so I just gave you one example for each phrasal verb. I want you to look for 3 more, at least 3 more, so that you can use it correctly when you are speaking and when you are writing. Okay, just to make sure that you are using it right grammatically and also context-wise, it's used correctly. Because I know a lot of second language learners, they use phrasal verbs, but sometimes it's not used in the correct context. Sometimes it's not grammatically correct. So that's why I want you to do that. And then number 3, start using them at work or in your daily conversations. Or maybe you tell yourself to be more sensitive, more attentive to these phrasal verbs, so that maybe your boss likes to use phrasal verbs. So you can listen to her and you can say, oh, okay, I know this phrasal verb, right? Because I've already studied it. So start using them at work or be more attentive to phrasal verbs that are used at work. And then number 4, just continue reading, continue listening and speaking in English to learn even more phrasal verbs. So there are levels of English where the use of phrasal verbs may not be necessary. Maybe you are level A1 or A2. So it's just best to use words that are straight to the point. But as you level up, as you go to the next level of your English, you will automatically learn phrasal verbs. You will pick up phrasal verbs through listening and watching TV in English. It will come naturally to you, right? But don't fret too much about it. Don't be so worried about it if you don't know a lot of phrasal verbs. It's fine as long as you get your message across. But using phrasal verbs can help you sound more confident, can help you feel more confident, and also it will make you sound more fluent. All right? So, and that's all from me for today. Make sure that you join our email list and get our weekly tips. Go to myenglishmatters.com. You go there, put in your name and your email address, and we will send you 7 tips to speak with confidence, to help you speak with confidence. We send it to you over 3 days. And then after that, we send you emails every week on Thursdays. So that's all from me for today. Thank you for taking part. Thank you for leaving me your comments. I can see them here. And that's all from me. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next week. Bye and Assalamualaikum.